going on, fellas? Who we got in here fishing? What's going on, brother? Welcome in. Smokey, Halsey Way, Caleb, how y'all doing? Hooey, it's getting set up here. What the hell just happened? No.
Futuristic sound.
Of course you smelled shenanigans, my friend. Alright, I think music's good volume level. Y'all let me know if that's changes. Hoo-ah! Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, I'll turn it down just slightly. It's hard for me to like level it out. How's that? A little bit better? Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Chilling tonight. I had a lot of fun tying up those flies we tied up on last night, and so I had some better ideas for the front here. I didn't like how the front turned out, so I'm gonna change it up just slightly. But I think this will still work really, really nice for bass. So welcome in, everybody. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you can drop a like on the stream. I appreciate it immensely. Smaller channel, you know what it means. And yeah, so we're gonna tie up some small bass flies and do stuff like that. I'm gonna do some stuff like this again, but more different colors as well, so kind of see a little bit more. And if you have any questions along the way or anything like that, throw them out there. There's no dumb questions, and I will answer everybody and everything. Most everybody and most everything. My chat can kind of get a little wild at sometimes. That's right, all 15. All 72, actually, that I made last night. I was cranking flies out, man. Just kidding. I made like 3 flies last night. I was too busy just absolutely trying to get my dad to lose his shit. And it worked. It worked. We got him to absolutely lose his shit. It was great. It was a fun night. So, first thing I'm going to do is I need to get black ultra thread, and then I'm going to drop that dumbbell into my shag carpet, so now it is gone forever. I'm just going to grab another one of those, and I'll find that later. A lot of people use different stuff for different flies, yada yada. Me personally, man, I don't try and get too much into the weeds when it comes to like thread types and yada yada. I've found that 140 ultra thread will pretty much tie everything that you need to tie, from goofy ass little flies like these to a little bit more unique flies like these, all the way up to the big old salmon jigs that we tie, just like this one here, to catch fish like these. So I use 140 across the board for all those. What up, travelers? How you been, brother? Thanks for joining me, dude. We're going on the late stream. I'm starting late tonight. I had some other pre-arrangements, but I am on. So, and the hook that I'm using is Not your standard hook again. I like wide gap hooks. What up? Rear? Hey, appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man. I used to have a bunch of different music going on, but I think this fits my vibe a little bit more. So hopefully we can find some stuff that doesn't get me flagged. But make sure you guys are liking the stream if you don't mind. Oh, I was gonna find you the hooks. I use these stinger hooks here, size 2, B10S stinger hooks. The shank kind of comes straight off the front, but I do like just the wide gap of the hook. Kind of more versatile for everything you need. How you been, travelers, man? Is he in here, brother? Shall I put on your guys' glasses? Shall we see if the glasses help you out tonight? Find like the sweet spot though. I feel like it's trying. Maybe we'll just rock without it, yeah? Doing it the same way, brother. Doing it the same way. This woman of mine, she absolutely cranked the heat in my house. Good Lord. There we go. Alright, so we got a base thread going there. Got a little bit of a base thread going there. What we're going to do next is kind of like a reverse rabbit's tail. So I got a pile of rabbit's fur here. And I think I'm going to go with probably like a leech style, I think, on this one. I have a lot of salmon colors and stuff that would work good for maybe some crawfish colors, but I think on this particular one to start off the night, we're going to go with the black. That way we can do some kind of leech patterns. MZ, what's going on, brother? Welcome in, dude. Misky, next time you fish, I will do so, brother. Thank you for the tip there, Paste. Appreciate you, brother. Do me a favor if you don't mind, commenting that on one of my shorts, because chat kind of goes away after a stream, and I'll make sure to do so, if you don't mind. If not, I understand. I want to make sure we're just about the same length as the shank itself. Go a little bit over, but alright. Yo, Valhalla, what's up, Oregon? Honestly, I started so late, I was like, I wonder if any of the OG crowd's gonna show up tonight. Look at you guys. Okay, upside down on the Is that any better? Is that any better? How about now? Is that any better? For these particular ones, when I do the live streams, man, this is kind of like my making it up as I go. But if I find something that really, really works or is like a base technique to kind of build off of, I create tutorials. So like my big salmon jigs that I make, I use for catching fish like these. These are big king salmon and coho salmon. I got other pictures, but these ones here, there's a full tutorial on how to make these along with some other steelhead stuff. I don't really have any fly tying tutorials yet, but I'm working on that. We'll kind of see if anybody asks for one in a live stream, I'll make one. But these ones here, we're still kind of building on the idea. This is the last rendition of what I'm going to be making right now. But I had some ideas to kind of do better around this headpiece, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, hang on a second. I've got the microphone set up, so give me a second. Did that do anything? Is that better? No, so for like bass and that kind of stuff, yeah, there's some basic principles being. So like these ones here, these are basically streamers, and this color is more or less to mimic like a crawfish, especially with all the legs and whatnot when it's in the water. But as far as like the recipe in total of like all the pieces that go on it, it's completely kind of as I go. But they all follow kind of the same principle, like this, right? We're going to take this rabbit's fur zoinker upside down on the top of the shank there. Just like that. And that's going to create that kind of tail section there that you see there. Brother Valhalla, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I have been the late night Friday man for a while now. And I check before I go live to see if anybody else is. I try my best not to overlap people. At least that I know. Hey, Zeke, man. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that a lot, brother. There's a ton of videos if you want. Go check them out. I create a lot of fishing videos, fly tying videos, tackle tips, tackle reviews, anything fishing related. It's probably on my channel. Louisiana, I am not. I am actually from Washington State. Okay, next piece we're going to do is we're going to need some chenille, but like this one, we're going to go with black, right? So I need to find something that's kind of like a cactus chenille, but in black color. And then I might mix in some like purples and blues and that kind of stuff. Ooh. So I got that right there, which is like a cactus chenille and that black. Like I said, we're going to mix in some of this as well. I'll show you how this is all going to work. Ooh, first things first, before I get ahead of myself, we're going to put in the dumbbell. Appreciate it, Smokey. Thank you, man. Thank you, Zeke. Appreciate you, dude. So a little tip here for the dumbbell eyes. Get your thread exactly where you want it to be, and then put the dumbbell perpendicular to the shank. And when you tie in a couple, boom, it's going to want to slap itself exactly where you kind of, well, pretty much where you kind of want it to be. And then we're just going to do a couple wraps to the left, a couple wraps to the right. Make sure that's good and secured in there. All right. Now in with the cactus. I'm gonna go right back to where we started with the rabbit zoinker. Tying that tail section just like that. And we're gonna go right about halfway, right where that zoinker kind of stopped. That's where I'm gonna stop this. We're only gonna do a little bit of this cactus chenille. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when I put in the next piece, which is the streamer kind of stuff, when I put this in and I have this cactus chenille behind it, it's gonna make it want to sit outward instead of straight back. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Hey, appreciate it, Will. Thank you, brother. You're more than welcome to just hang out and vibe. I'll try not to talk too much, so you can just enjoy. All right. So just like that, we're going to stop right there. That's all we need, just that little bit. That's basically was creating our base there. We'll wrap that over. Cut that bad boy free. Oh, right on. Like for fish and that kind of stuff? That's cool. I didn't think they'd teach fly tying in conservation class. That's wild. Okay. Just like that, that's what we got. I'll update your tag, yeah, for sure. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the mid chenille, just like this. And we're gonna go from basically here to here. We only are gonna do like a few wraps too, by the way. So don't need to do much with this. Because we're gonna go right back over it with some fur at the end too. Yeah, we'll be live for a little bit, bro. The original person that taught me was my gramps. Passed away about last year. He's a good dude. Taught me everything I know about fishing and fly fishing and that kind of stuff. But that's where I learned most of the stuff. I built on it, obviously, but he's the one that got me kind of into it and started. Yeah. Well, you know, people get old. But we had some good times, him and me, growing up, fishing and doing whatever. So there you go. That's what I'm saying. So now we've kind of, that cactus chenille, like I said, just added that body. And now this kind of lays over top of it, and that just kind of helps build out the body a bit. But this next piece is really what's going to build it up behind the head there. I take some of this other black that I have here. I thought I had a piece of crosscut, which just makes this whole process a lot easier, but there it is. Take this piece of crosscut, and then I'm going to take this little clip right here, and this is called dubbing noodle. Is that what it's called? Dubbing noodle. I think it's called dubbing noodle. I call it dubbing noodle. Like I said, I don't worry about the terminology so much. Oh, all good, NIMBY. Like I said, brother, I truly was not expecting anybody from like the normal crowd to be joining me tonight. I was just gonna be like, I had some ideas for some flies, and I really wanted to make some, and I know it was kind of late, but the late stream's always kind of been the thing, or Fridays anyway. Oh, dude, it's raining hard here. Or it was earlier. It's chilled out now, but. So what you do is you create a loop with the thread, and then you tie it back. So now I've kind of permanently created that loop there. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to ride that all the way right up to the front of the barbell weight that we have on this thing. And then I'm going to throw it a 1/2 inch. That just kind of makes it so this thing doesn't go all kinds of everywhere on me when I'm doing it. That's all good, Palsy. That's all good, brother. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Then we're going to take a crazy looking tool, this thing here, and I grab it with both hooks there, and that kind of holds that U open. And what I'm going to do, take this clip with this fur, I tuck that up high as I can into that, in between the two threads, let it go, and we're going to give it a few spins. Oh my God, Will, 8 inches? That's crazy, dude. It just rains here, man. That's all it ever does, is just freaking rain here. It's alright, you get used to it. Well, I should say most people get used to it. Seems like most of the people from California that are moving here recently are struggling with it. And we're going to just really kind of take our time preening this fur back as we roll this back. Just like that. And we're going to give these a couple twists around each other. That's just going to lock those lines together. Give it a couple winds. And I can cut the last little bit of this thing free. What I would like to do is kind of hold these back just slightly and ever so much give them a bit of a tuck. Because the next step we're going to take, and we're going to do dubbing over top and underneath this head here up to the front, and that's going to help push everything farther back like before. Yeah, dude, I've seen some crazy shit on the lives, man. Very much. Jeez, very much. I am like an oasis in the desert, my friend. Guaranteed the next live that you flip to is going to be someone rolling a ball across a thing, or someone with, I don't know, ping pong balls, or someone with... Sorry, I'm hearing some like crazy noises going on outside. Hold on a second. I don't know what the hell that was. Ooh, that's crazy. 99. Damn. I thought I was part of that 1%. All right. So we're going to take some of this guy right here, which is some goat dub. And we're going to do basically like we did before with the dubbing noodle, but this stuff is going to kind of act as a little bit more as kind of a pushback. I might actually do, you know what? No, I'm going to do some poly dub. I think that's gonna look good. We're going to do that instead. See what I mean? I flip it up. Flip it up as I see fit. 26 people in the stream, man. If everybody right now could drop a like on my stream, I would desperately appreciate it. Smaller channels, man. Need all the help we can get, my friend. Brother, I gotta be careful, man. Weird people, you know what I mean? Smokey, by the way, make sure you, I'll check tomorrow morning, but, yo! Holy crap, man, with the goat trophy, dude. Thank you, brother. Well, appreciate you, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, they're really good, dude. Thank you, man. Smokey, in the Discord, man. Make sure you send me a message, my brother. I want to get you one of these t-shirts. Same thing as before, we're going to use the dubbing instead of the fur. Get it in here nice. I'll use actually quite a bit on this. Yo, what up, Desk? How you doing, brother? Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. I am currently on the back end here of tying this little largemouth bass fly. Currently creating kind of a dubbing head, if you will. Okay, and we're just going to poke that out. Basically what I've created there is just this crazy looking noodle. We're going to wrap that all around that head, and it's going to make it look real nice. Thanks, Smokey. Definitely do, brother. Definitely do. Okay, want to move that forward. We're going to get this in our way. And we're going to start the wraps. Shit, I didn't realize how much I actually have on that. That might be it right there. Okay, make sure we don't jam up our eyelet there. And then we're going to take our brush, where the hell that went. Actually, I want to throw in a couple of hitches here on this. That's just going to save our spot. We're just going to make this thing look pretty buggy here. We'll see how that works. I feel like that's good, but it's not quite still what I want it to be. It's still good though. I definitely still think this is fishable for sure. Still not quite there though. Any other fish-minded people out there have any ideas for me for kind of want to do something that kind of does what this did, but in a bit of a better fashion? I just don't have craft fur is my struggle. I'm creating a fly for fly fishing. I use them for catching smallmouth bass, largemouth bass. I also make big old salmon jigs like this, so that way I can go out and catch fish like this. But this is not for that right now. I feel like the dub maybe wasn't the hit. I don't know. I get asked that a lot, man. Will, I don't make my flies to sell. It's more just personal use, and then I try and teach people how to do it here on YouTube. Because getting into selling, I wouldn't be able to sit here and kind of experiment, and that is kind of like key to me. So if I'm sitting here creating the same fly over and over again, that's not really that entertaining for you guys, I don't think. I mean, we can chat it up, but being able to like get your guys' input and we kind of build it together, that's fun to me, and so that's what keeps it fun. And I couldn't do that if I had to make them to sell, so that's why I don't. Long story short, I don't think you were asking for an answer quite that long, but hey, appreciate it. Appreciate it, Atheist. All right, well, that one's done up. Let's pivot it out to something more like that last one, because I feel like that was closer. We're going to stick it with the black, though, I think. I think we'll stick with black. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Shit, we're almost at 30, dude. Hell yeah. By the way, if any of you guys out there that are just sitting here lurking, appreciate you guys so much. If you didn't mind, like fishing content, I have a bunch of different fishing videos on my channel. You're more than welcome to go check them out. Otherwise, I do this Thursdays and Fridays. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes it's me and my old man, and those kind of get kind of wild and fun. And then I also have a lot of other guests on every once in a while. From the fly fishing, bass fishing, salmon fishing, crappie fishing / whatever realm that are always with me of some kind. So make sure you guys subscribe if you like that kind of stuff. And I thank you dearly if you do. When you're hunting for hooks that you dropped, it's really good to get your hand over where you think it's at and then just start doing this. You'll find it really quickly. Well, honestly, man, I just, if that's the case, if someone's really hard up for some of my stuff, dude, hit me up on the Discord, and every so often, if I get money from the stream or something like that, I just turn around and I use it for shipping, and I'll just send them some person out, like some flies or t-shirts, hats, that kind of stuff. Okay, hook, we need a hook. Stardusted. I'm telling you, it's a proven technique, dude. I've done it, but with my foot before. It worked great. Found that hook like that, dude. Okay, same design, similar design, sorry. So you start out getting that thread wrap, and by the way, if you guys, there's anybody in here that's kind of new to this all in general, the way that I get this started can sometimes get confusing for some people that maybe don't know what's going on. But basically, I'm holding my thread at one end, and I'm giving it one good wrap around the hook. And then what I do is I take my back thread here, and I kind of hold it at a 45, if you will, back towards my left side here. And then I start wrapping backwards over it, and what you're going to find out is now it's taut and it won't slip away like that, right? Obviously you need more wraps, but once you've done that enough times and wrapped over that thread, you've essentially locked that in there, and now that's not going anywhere, and I can basically start my fly from there. I'll just cut that right there, and boom, away we go. And you start a good base wrap. It does two things. It just kind of makes sure that nothing that you create past this is going to go untied, and it kind of gives you a good little layer for all your stuff to kind of sit on. Otherwise, if it's just a bare hook, they'll tend to want to slip around. A freaking spider fly? I mean, is that kind of spidery for you? Does that work? We can do something like this. Magnets for working on cars? What are you talking about? Hey, James Crappie Gamer. I love fishing too, brother. Welcome for joining me, man. Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate that, Thomas. Appreciate that, bro. If you have any questions, by the way, of what I'm doing or anything like that, there's no dumb questions. Okay, so we're gonna take this bunny fur. This is a piece of zoinker, and we're gonna put that in upside down, and that's gonna create like our base tail here, just like we did on the last one. Oh, for finding hooks. Yeah, that seems like a better method than my method. I'm not gonna lie. Using your bare hand to just find the hooks isn't the best. Is it produce results? Absolutely. And you tend to know when you find the hook pretty quickly. Right on, James. What do you guys go fishing for, brother? When I find the hook, be ready. Will do. Okay, so that's tied in just like that. So you guys kind of see there. Now we're going to go in just slightly different from the last one we did. I'm going to go in with this stuff now first. You don't know what you're fishing for? Well, that's cool. Did you, I'm assuming you guys, did you catch anything then? Why do you use hooks to catch fish and not helicopters? Well, because helicopters are a little smarter, and they typically don't like to go for smaller lures like this. What you should use is like a good treble hook or something of that nature. They a little bit flashier. They'll they tend to key in on stuff like that. Fishing tomorrow with my buddy Mike. I hope I can get to land a fish tomorrow. Dude, you've been killing it this year, Oregon. You've been freaking killing it. Or Dynamite. No, the wind was strong. Oh, damn. Yeah. Dude, fly fishing when the wind is strong sucks too, man. Alright. Wrap this up a few times just like that. Fishing rods are better than helicopters. Yeah, seriously, James. Seriously. Ooh, how was that? Garrett, how was that? I've only had smoked. Alright, so now we got that tied in. That's just going to add more flash a little bit farther back. And then we're going to start doing the spider legs. I've seen that, dude. I've seen like people use, what is it? Like a potato launcher, but they freeze the bait in some ice or whatever. And then they put the bait in front of it, and then they boom, shoot that out into the surf. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Ooh, right on, Garrett. Okay, we're gonna put in some rubber legs on this one to add some little bit of flavor to what's going on here. And I'm keeping everything a little muted just because, like I said, it's bass. So I don't want to go like crazy color-wise with it. But I do have some really good like purple and blue that kind of matches what we got going on here. And I'm going to mix it with this little bit of brown too. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hats are a little harder for me to ship, so I'm hoping it will come to you not squished. But you can always take an iron and try and flatten it out. Lucifer, welcome, brother. Hey, Sun and Moon, how you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, absolutely. I'm making a bass fly, something similar to what I got here. Right? So we're just adding in all these pieces. And I use these to catch smallmouth, largemouth bass in the summertime. But maybe later tonight you'll see me tie up some of my big salmon jigs that are what I'm normally tying on this channel. And I use those to catch, you know, decent sized salmon like this one here. Hey, appreciate that, Smokey. I think so. I think it's going to be like a little bit muted, but it's going to be a nice little balance to everything. Have I had any fishing accidents? Yeah. So there's this scar. Well, I got a couple scars here, but there's one in particular right here. You kind of see where my knuckle kind of goes funky right there. What had happened is when I went to my favorite lake, there was a section of the lake that you need to have like permits for you have to get your boat signed off for invasive species and that kind of thing. And when I did that, they had these metal tags, and the only thing I had to cut this metal tag off so I could use my boat was a knife. Well, I didn't realize I had my hand on the boat, and I was trying to like get this wire tag free with my knife because that's all I had. And when the wire free let go, and my hand was here, and I just go like with this amount of force, I go whap, and just literally chop into my knuckle all the way down to the bone with like a very fresh blade. And yeah, it was pretty nuts, and I was bleeding pretty profusely. Thankfully, I keep like a first aid kit in my truck, and was able to kind of pinch the flesh together, suture, kind of get one of those pinches, those pieces of tape on it, and then wrap the hell out of my hand. I looked like I had a boxer because I just had a big old piece of like white around my hand. And then I said to my buddy Mike, he's like, dude, is a fishing trip over? And I'm like, well, hang on. And I grabbed one of my fishing rods and I start reeling. I'm like, I can still reel, big dog, but I can't drive the boat. He's like, we can do this. So we continued to fish that day with my hand absolutely just gnarled. So, and I caught a good sized bass. It was awesome. Happy trauma. Yeah, Oh, yikes. That sounds rough, Philip. This random guy was in my secret fishing spot at a lake. So, anyways, I started swinging. No. You out of here, Valhalla? Have a good night, brother. Or is Lucifer leaving? Valhalla, okay. It's just a flesh wound. Yeah, I was fine. You know you're like in it as a fisherman you have a problem when the first thing that you say to yourself is, shit, can I still keep fishing? When the answer is yes, then no big deal. The craziest thing that's ever happened to me while fishing was same lake, by the way, but we get out on the water, Mike and I, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking around the boat. I cannot find my freaking phone, and we launched from the bank, and I could not find my phone. I'm like, God damn it! Did I leave my phone in my truck? So I went. I was like, buddy, we gotta reel in. I gotta go see if my phone's in my truck real quick. And he's like, all right, fine. So he, by the way, adding in some flashy boo is just kind of like spun up pieces of plastic, but we're gonna put that on the sides of this as kind of like some lateral lines. As long as I can still fish. That's what I'm saying. But so anyway, we reel in all the lines, and we get back to the dock. We pull in exactly where we took off from, and I was off the bow of the boat, and I was about to jump off to go onto the shore, and I looked about a foot down in the water. There's my phone. When I jumped on the boat to get on the boat, it fell out of my pocket. You out of here, James. Appreciate you jumping in, brother. Thank you so much. Make sure you're subscribed, dude, so you catch me next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Love to have you in chat, James. Always. There's my phone, a foot in underwater. I'm like, holy shit. So I went, grabbed my phone and picked it up. But like, so lucky that we pulled back into the same spot, and so lucky that I was able to freaking see it. Because I bought a black phone, and the rocks were kind of black right there. Wild moment. One of those you laugh about later. You guys can't see this much on your end, but that's before. Ready? Watch this. That's after. Bam. Right? Favorite Godzilla movie? The one where the monster comes out of the water. That was a pretty good one. Honestly, I don't know any Godzilla movies, to be honest with you. I just know like the older ones. I don't think I watched much of the newer ones. Bam. Now we're looking real fishy. Whoa. Add in some legs now. That's all of my. I know that was the joke, Lucy. How many phones you lose in a year? Oh God. I used to be pretty bad at that. Whoa. I used to be pretty bad at that, but I've finally gotten better. Okay, rubber legs just went in. What I do is I kind of take them and I flip them in half, and then I put them on the shank. You guys will see it here in a second. I'm gonna do another one for you. What I do, I take the rubber legs just like this, and I put them in half, V them over the line, just like that. And then we spin those up right where we want them to go, which is usually laterally on this thing. And we use our line and kind of pinch that down. We're going to have a pretty heavy spot here, but that's okay, because the next step is going to cover all that up. Ooh, damn. You do not. Damn, dude, we're at 41 likes, dude. We're at a heavy like stream tonight, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys a lot. All right, Oregon. See you in a bit, brother. See you in a bit. Now we've got quite a bit going on here, right? Now we're going to kind of mute it down a little bit. Actually, before we get too advanced here, sorry guys, I got fur in my mouth. Don't say it, Lucy. Godzilla movies are pretty good, though, man. I like a good monster movie. All right. Dumbbell eyes. These are chartreuse ones. These are really the only one that I got. That's why we're using them. We're gonna roll up to the front here real quick before we get too advanced and tie those in before I completely forget to put those in. And just like that. Okay. I'm going to take, I thought I had some, yeah, I do, the crosscut stuff here. I'm going to try doing a wrap, I think. That might not work. We might end up taking this off. We're going to try a wrap. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We keep up these numbers. We'll stay up. We'll stay up for a while. Okay. This is what I was kind of saying too. Like, I get to experiment a bit. Landon, do not engage Nightbot. You guys went too hard, and now I'm pulling the plug on all that. What time is it for you guys? Colt, what's going on, dude? It's about 11 o'clock for me. All right, so I put a half hitch in here. You saw me put in the cross cut. It was. It is still talked about to this day, which is hilarious to me. I am dead ass when I'm telling you guys, don't engage the bot tonight. All right, Stardusted, you have a good night, brother. Loved having you, as always, my friend. Appreciate you. Now we really kind of got this just meaty looking streamer going down. I think I will add some dub on this, just behind the eyes there, but I don't think I'm gonna like do anything up here. I think that kind of messes with me. What I'll do is I'll probably just do some resin nose there, and we'll just let that be as is. Not a huge fan of this song right now. There was a live stream. It got out of hand. I should have ended the live stream sooner. I didn't, and I regret it. But it was a fun live stream, I will say that. But we got really close to getting me in trouble. And you guys see how much effort I put into putting my videos and that kind of shit. If I were to lose this over some dumb shit that was said in chat, man, I would really be sad. So I gotta nip it in the butt, as fun as it was. Hey, all right, Oregon, have a good. I'll see you in a bit. I thought you already left, bro. It's fucking, dude, it's too many breaks, brother. Goddamn. That live stream will be talked and passed down. Stories will be passed down. But here's the thing. There may be some clippets here and there, but it will not. It's no longer on my channel. That's for sure. Okay, dubbing noodle. We're gonna slide a little bit of dub, not a whole lot, right up to the front of that thing, and get that bad boy spun up. I'm gonna grab my pick here, kind of pick it out, get it real bug-like. Sometimes you can even go in with a brush a little bit. Hey, appreciate it, Z-Dubs. Welcome in, brother. Glad to have you, dude. Been a minute. Thanks for joining me, dude. gonna brush that way out. See if that achieves the look we were kind of hoping for. I think it kind of is. There we go. All right, now we're just gonna do the whip finish on the front, do the resin top, and we're good. Hey, thanks, Z-Dub, man. Yeah, my last live stream, I was bumping some old school reggae, which is kind of what I started doing when I first started doing this. Then we found that old school stuff, and I was like, you know what, man, it's time for a change. So we're gonna switch it back to the old school kind of Rastafarian stuff, which is kind of my vibe anyway. I have to go look at that, Lucy. Goddamn. I am now curious. Send a link into Discord if you don't mind. I'm really nervous. Yeah, right? Like, colors are just kind of going a little bit here and there, everywhere. I think it turned out pretty good. Now we're just going to do a little bit of resin on the nose here. Is that Robert? How you doing, Robbie? How you doing, brother? Yeah, that was last live stream. We got him going. It's my favorite thing to just kind of get him all fired up, you know? What are sons for, right? Juleser, yes it is. It is a fly fishing lure for smallmouth and largemouth bass. I was just using the UV resin here to cure it because we're basically done with it. A couple pieces here, but yeah, I use this for smallmouth and largemouth bass. Thanks for joining me, by the way, dude. Hey, Muddy Trucks, man, I appreciate that dearly, brother. Thank you so much, dude. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you, dude. Stick around, dude. Always, always, always. If you guys have, you know, ideas of what you might like change or do differently, I always implement it, man. That's the whole point. Because I do this as a hobby, and I don't really sell these, so we get to kind of sit here and experiment. So, if you have any ideas of like color-wise, you're like, that color might look good on that one or something, yell them out, dude. If I got it, I'll throw it in. I think a smallmouth or even a largemouth will hammer this thing pretty good. Especially with that weight and all these legs moving around, I think it'll give it some good action to it and it'll do something. But we're not quite finished with it yet. Where is that freaking Sharpie? Just had the stupid thing. Where'd it go? Oh shit. Maybe we are finished because I can't find the stupid Sharpie. There's always about one thing that goes missing on every one of my freaking streams, dude. Let me go see if I have one in the living room. I will be right back. I'm gonna finish this bad boy up. Yo, show flies, what's up, dude? The Colt rig? I do somewhere, man. Although Mike went through all my shit, I mean, he might have took it. Acquired. See if I can draw some angry eyes on this thing. Oh god. Kind of. Not really. Better off just creating eyeballs, I think. I bet he did. Dude, he took a lot of stuff that was like community-wise, stuff like that. That's his thing, though. He likes those kind of wacky ones. All right, guys. One little bass fly. I am most definitely going to be using this in the summertime, dude. This little guy, I think, will do very well when it comes to the bass. Will, thanks for coming back, brother. Or if you left, I don't know. But can you make a musky jig flag? Brother, I wish I could. I got to go do some training on that. Those are pretty big. I don't do much in the way of musky. I don't have any in my area. Mostly do smallmouth, largemouth, that kind of stuff. But I will teach you, I promise someone here, another tutorial on how to make like a little bass fly. And I only got like a couple hooks left, so I want to make sure that I show them how to do that real quick. But yeah, I'll show you a really good little bass fly, one I use a lot. Yes, good catch, Dreza. Yes, it is a Renzetti Traveler. This is a Renzetti Traveler fly tying vise in deep purple. This was a gift by my awesome wife. Yeah, I love this thing to death. It's a great little vise. I have tied, at this point, countless flies on it. Okay. Is Smokey still with us? Oh, right on. Yeah, it's I started out with a bunch of like smaller vices and that kind of stuff before I actually, this is my first pedestal vise. I absolutely love it. It's a great little vise. I'm good with vices from now on for sure. Trout fly? Brook trout? Like a little fly for brook trout, or do you want one to look like a brook trout? Do we still have is Smokey still in here? Did we lose Smokey? I'll give it a few more minutes because he specifically asked for this one. So might just run it anyway. Oh, right on. So the one that you asked for me in the Discord, brother, we're going to do that one real quick. So this is my most productive little fly when it comes to largemouth bass. I'm still fishing for bass. Yeah. So first things first is I'm taking. I use spray marabou because don't order shit online half lit. I thought it was regular marabou. It wasn't. Now I have a lot of it. But I'm going to use spay. I'm going to use the end tips here to create the tail piece. And what I do is I take the very tip of it and I go to the front of the shank and I make sure that it's just going to be right at the back of the bend of this. Go a little bit past is fine, but that's kind of how you do your proportions when it comes to flies. A fly for brook trout. Okay, that will be next, my brother. Rotary, it takes some getting used to for sure. Sometimes I don't use them, especially for my bigger jigs, show flies. They don't tend to work in that regard. For this one, I will be using it for this particular fly, just because it makes it easier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of this lower feathers here, which is kind of more flowy, and I'm going to rip that off the side, and we're going to tuck those right on top of this. This adds shape. This adds flow. Will. Shall I let you look at the lights, Will? Whoa! Dude! Power potion, let's go, dude. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate that, dude. Holy crap. Thank you. Yo, Deborah, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Nicole, thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so that's what we got in here for this. I will add just maybe a little bit of crystal in here, just as an add little bit of bonus that we didn't do before on this particular fly. So I got a little bit of crystal chenille here. I'm just going to use just a very tiny amount here. This is called crystal chenille. Basically just pieces of plastic that are kind of spun up and have like a hollow effect to them. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Will, man. I try and keep it entertaining even though I'm not like, doing the dumb smooth brain stuff that you see a lot of times on live streams. Okay. A little bit of crystal chenille. That's just going to add just a little bit of more flavor to the tail end of this bad boy. Okay. Now we're going to roll up and we're going to put in that ball, the dumbbell at the front. Once I can find the dumbbells, which are right here. I appreciate that, Lucifer. I appreciate that. You being a good boy. Good job. Why? Because he comes in here and he talks mad dog shit. He'll be so polite and so nice in other people's streams, but he comes into mine. And it's like he just, I don't know, he loses all his control. That's very true. That's very true, Lucy. Okay. Dude, we're up to 51 likes tonight, man. Thank you guys so much, dude. It's been a minute since I've had this many likes on a stream, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Generally, I appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna roll back now that we got that dumbbell in, back to kind of where we started. Now we're gonna do the chenille. I thought I had here. Yep, I do. Now this is cactus chenille, not to be confused with regular chenille, which is this stuff. This is just your regular run-of-the-mill chenille, which just works great. Cactus just kind of stands out a little bit more, gives a little bit more flavor, especially when you're doing bass stuff. Usually bass stuff gets kind of flashy. I'm a flashy guy, what can I say? I like flashy lures. So that's what we use mostly. Right on. Thank you, dude. Thank you, brother. Dude, a 50, I know, man. Crazy. Okay, we're gonna take this. We're gonna go right up behind those the ball dumbbell, not ball bearings. Do a half hitch. By the way, new people in here, half hitch is where I take 2 fingers, I put it on my line like this, and I basically just create a loop. Create a loop in the line, kind of see it there, right on my index finger. And I take that and I go right where I want the line to pause, basically. And I can go like this. So now what happens is this thing, when I go to spin this or whatever, it's not going to unwind this. It's basically paused it at that point. And boom. Oh, Lucy with the 2-box. Let's go, dude. I know about how some people love cactus chenille. What? I don't know what that means. I don't know if I take offense to that. Should I take offense to that? I won't. So thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Tanzuno. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for joining me, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hang on a second, guys. Okay, so now we've gotten to this point. We've put the cactus chenille in. We've got our tail piece right here. Now we're going to flip this upside down, basically, or upside down here because the hook's pointing up. And we're going to add in the rubber legs. Usually I do something that kind of contrasts what I got going on because it's made to add movement. And if I have it looking kind of the same, then it's not really going to stand out. So if we did something that kind of contrasts that, I think that would look pretty damn good. I don't really do much. Really 3 legs here is what we're going to use on this. And how you do these rubber legs or how you add these in is really simple. Fair enough, Luca. How you add these in is very simple. You see my line I got going down here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this on the other side from me. Okay? So this is on your guys' side of the screen. And I'm just going to basically just twist it or pinch it sideways behind the line, just like that. And we're going to bring that right up on top of this hook, just like we want. But I want to try and get that right close to that hook eye as much as I can, because I kind of want to, oops, create a bit of a head here. Come on, you bugger, work with me here. I'm going to pull those back, and I'm going to start wrapping over top of it, just like that. Boom. Wrap that nice and tight. Then we're going to take the whip finish. Hey, Vito, what's going on, brother? A decent live at 2:30. Hell yeah, brother. Keep it up. I am scared from what everybody keeps telling me, what they're like coming from. Like, oh God, thank God. Like, I'm scared of what you guys are scrolling through. Will, are you East Coast too, brother? Yes, absolutely, Colt. I didn't forget, brother. I didn't forget. Angel, what's going on, brother? Okay, so this is a whip finish. A crazy looking tool. Basically what this does is you whip this around and it finishes the fly. I know, crazy name for a tool. But I'm going to kind of show you how this works. It's pretty complicated, but once you kind of get the idea, it works easy. But this is my main thread here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this main thread and I'm going to first hook it on this first little hook here. And then it goes around to this little tiny bend here. So as it's facing me, I hook it, and then I take it and I go around that back bend there and come right back around over at top. And then I flip this around, and it's basically going to create a sail or a number 4. And that's going to create the overlapping loop that we want. It goes around and whips. Whips this into, drop it off that back hook there, a finished fly. Whip finish. Get it? Got it? Good. Yo, what's going on, Orkin? Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Alright. Do I know the band Red Hot Chili Peppers? Hell yeah, dude. We were playing that last night on my stream with my old man. Those ones, I don't have a chance in hell of it becoming monetized, so we just play whatever music we can on those ones, or that we want on those ones. Tonight, I kind of got to try and be a little bit more persuasive to the YouTube gods as much as I can, as long as my chat doesn't go all crazy on me. Lucifer. Okay, so that's just UV resin right there. And what we're going to do is, everybody that's been here before knows we're about to do a rave. Yo, Welder Fabricator, how's it going, brother? Welcome back, welcome back. There's oddly a ton of Pokemon consistent pack openings on my feed right now. Not sure how outdoor photography gives me that, but we got there in the end. That's awesome, dude. What you do is you waited on one too long, and then the feed's like, "This is what you want. This is what you want," and then just kept throwing it at you. Glad to have you back, Welder Fabricator, dude. Appreciate you, my friend. All right, so then we're going to take these little legs here, and we're going to kind of cut these a little bit long, Basically, kind of want to keep these, I don't know, about quarterback where that tail is. So that way they have a good amount of movement. But they're going to do this crazy shit up front, and that's kind of what we want. Because in the water, they're going to kind of preen back, but they want to come upward, right? Which makes them just do all kinds of crazy stuff in the water. But I promise you guys, if you have any bit of skill in fly fishing or none skill at all, and you want to try fly fishing and you use mostly bass for like stuff like that, this goofy little fly will be super, super, super productive for you. So maybe I'll throw one of these up on the channel. But if you guys go watch one of my fly fishing for bass videos I've done, I use this fly and actually catch a fish on this fly. You'll see it. All right, so now we're gonna do a trout. I want to say, honestly, man, my favorite cult for any kind of trout, my brain immediately goes to woolly bugger. Now, let me go pull out my trout box. Let's see what's in there and see if that helps anything. Thomas Weeks, what's going on, dude? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for joining me, dude. Dude, 57 likes, dog. 57 likes, y'all. Y'all are killing it tonight. You're crushing it. Woolly buggers are goated, dude, but he asked for like a trout fly. Could be a microsculpin. Microsculpins are great. Or a woolly bugger. So, Colt, if you're still in here, you let me know what you want to see. Like a microsculpin or a woolly bugger. Either of those, I think, would be a great trout fly. Show flies, I swear to God. You're going to get Lucifer banned, dude. Woolies? Woolies. Okay. Woolies it is. Let me get a good woolly fly hook out here. Oh, shoot. Okay, it's about to get real small up in here. We're going with a egg sucking because that was one of my favorites. And actually, we're going real old school because this particular fly I'm going to tie for you. This one was my very first fly that I learned how to tie. And it's the very first one that I kind of created in my own head and made. And my grandpa and I both fished the same exact fly for years. So this is actually kind of a special one to me. So it's called, I called it the egg sucking woolly bugger, but We're going to use a round head to it, usually chartreuse or red egg sucking. I don't have any red right now. I'm going to get a good thread wrap base on this bad boy. Just like that. Lucifer, I swear to God, you need to end this. Last warning. See what happens when you started this. Let me see here. Okay. Intrusive actions. Yeah, I know, right? So, marabou, gold yellow. Okay. Some brown large chenille. And this is the only piece of it that I'm very particular on. Whitings. Saddle hackle. Best stuff on the planet. I got 2 of this. I'm probably going to be using off the backside. Start right here, right where that bend starts to go. Right? It went from straight shank, and boom, it starts to bend there. That's where we want to start our actual fly. We're going to use one of these marabou pieces here. I try and find one that's got like no like spine to it, like this one here. Because we want just a ton of flow. Okay? And the trick to these ones is, again, take your length, and that's what you're doing for your tail. Okay? Body length, maybe like a 1/8 of an inch past body length, and then right back in here, and tie that into our tail. Here's your freaking popcorn. Never thought show flies would be the bad influence for the night. Now, why did I take and do that all the way up the entire shank? Because that, if I were to stop that here, it would actually create a lump in this, and it would actually kind of hinder you. So we don't have to like crazy tie everything, down and make sure that's completely covered, but we do want to make sure that we have a little bit of unity there. One more piece is a little bit of crystal, but it's the very smallest amount. Where is it at? I had it here a second ago. Where the hell is it at? Here we go. Crystal chenille, but like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we're taking minuscule strands here. Okay? Just tiny little bit. Like, that's pretty much all we will be using right there. And we're going to, oops, sorry guys. Tie this on the side, and it kind of creates a little bit of a lateral line. on the tail section of this. Just like that. I'm going to go up just a little bit more. Bring that back. You guys can't quite see what I'm doing yet, but you will in a minute. See that now? Just adds a little bit of flash in the back of that tail. It's really all we want. Freaking 65 likes on the stream, 40 people watching. I appreciate you guys so much, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm K-Fish. I do all kinds of fishing content. Do a lot of live streams Monday through Friday, on Thursdays and Fridays. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's my old man. They get kind of crazy at times. If fishing content's your jam, make sure you guys throw a subscribe my way. I'm a smaller channel, and I appreciate every little bit. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Okay, that goes in that lateral line just again there on this side. Fold that right back, and boom, we've got two. One on either side. Now, why did I put that on just the side? Because when this thing hits the water, it's going to do that, right? And I want to make sure that those don't get buried in there or just go all kind of all over the place. I want them to be kind of in line with what this is going to be doing. Then we're going to take our chenille in the brown, okay? Ooh, Lucy got hit with the nightbot. Thanks, Lucy. Appreciate you. We're going to add that in just like that. And we're going to kind of pull this back and just get it out of our way for the time being. Then we're going to add a piece of our Whitington's saddle hackle. And I'll show you what I do with this. So I want to grab just a long strand. When you're in and you're looking at saddle hackles, because these can be kind of expensive, here's my biggest tip for you guys, is you want to be able to find a saddle hackle that's going to have a lot of these like thin strands to it, because these are really versatile for doing a bunch of different things, especially these little woolly buggers and such. And why I say Whitingtons is because they have the best color ratio and they're mostly like that style. So this is the butt end, this is the tip. We're going to actually tie in the tip at the very front, or at the very back of this, just like that. I know this looks like a mess. That's fine. Now we're going to take this and run that all the way up to the front and do our half hitch, just like that. Boom. Now comes the real fun part. Yo, what up, Timothy? How you doing, man? We're gonna wrap that chenille all the way up. Oop. This is older chenille, so it's kind of got some flat spots to it, so I kind of got to work it a little bit more than I would typically like with regular old chenille. Catch crappie, dude? Hell yeah, man. I've been trying this year to catch some crappies, dude. If you have any good tips for me, I need them, dude. I'm trying like hell. Okay, so we got that in there just like that. Then we're going to take that piece of saddle hackle. Actually, let me get a couple half inches on here. This next piece, I'm really going to use the rotary. And we're just going to really kind of take our time rotating this forward. And you're going to start to see those hackles come out. Now, why I tied the back end of these, the back end of this feather towards the back, and we're moving towards the front, aka the butt end, is because you kind of see these. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but they're kind of starting small here and they're working their way up big here. Tie that off. Cut it free. Kind of hold everybody back here, and we're going to create just a little bit of a head here, not much. Okay, and then we go in with that whip finish again. Just like this. Materials can be, the materials can be a little expensive. But here's the thing, those saddle hackles and that kind of stuff, that'll go a long, long way. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then we'll go in with our little bit of head cement here. Boom. And this is the egg sucking leech. Now this little fly here is hands down, this was my very first fly I ever tied. What you will see is what most people will tell you is, well, I missed a piece, right? Which was a piece of wire that goes in and wraps around this. I didn't do that on purpose. They think that they need that to keep this saddle hackle in place. I have caught many, many fish off of the same fly, and this is, I've rarely ever had this break on me. So it's not needed, and I think what it does is it actually it hinders in a way that it keeps those saddle hackles, kind of flatten them, and they're not as congruent as they are without it. I think it looks a lot better this way, and it fishes a lot better this way for me, productive wise. This is a great color combo, and a black is a great color combo. So I'm gonna do one more variation of this, by the way, for you. That is my little secret recipe as well that I use for trolling flies. And yes, you heard me right, trolling a fly. Timothy! It looks a little bit like a woolly bugger. It was a woolly bugger, my friend. Thank you much, brother. $66 likes on the stream. You guys are awesome. It is a sinking fly, my friend. Yep, it is a sinking fly. Most of my stuff I do is for still water. So streams, lakes, blah, 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 that kind of thing. That's mostly what I fish for, dude. And so, or that's what I mostly fish, that is. And so most of my flies are some sort of weight to them or something of that nature. I don't really do much dry flies. Personally, I think dry flies are for the birds, but people love them. Y'all are just trying to get kicked by Nightbot, bro. If you... Okay. You try and time out Nightbot, you get timed out. Carter is mid. What's going on? I want to get into fly fishing and have nowhere to start. Can you teach me what is fly fishing? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Fly fishing is basically fishing off of lures that are artificial, mostly made by fur or something of that nature. It's a little bit high-end type of fishing, so if you already kind of know the basics of fishing, then it's something you can step into. To start you off, though, there is a multitude of different fly rods and fly reels and that kind of stuff. But the one key thing that you need to remember when it comes to looking at fly reels and fly rods is not necessarily the length of the rod, but it's the weight. So like this one is a 6 weight. What that is referring to is the weight of the line. Because there's no actual weight to the lure, I mean, there sometimes is, but unlike a jig head that you would use for salmon, I'm using all the weight here, so my line's not weighted. On a fly rod, there's really not much weight to the actual fly itself. The line is actually weighted, and so that's what you're throwing, right? So this being a 6 weight rod, I need line. Hold on a second. I need line on my fly reel that is 6 weight. You see that there? In touch deep 6. Now you'll see a lot of times too this WF or weight. What that stands for is weight forward. Now weight forward just means all of the weight that's in the line is mostly towards the front of that fishing line. If you're new to fishing with fly fishing rods or fly reels, that is something you're going to want. You're going to want something that has some weight forwardness to it, because if you're not very strong in casting, that's going to help you kind of be better early. It's going to allow for more mistakes, is what I'm saying. It's going to allow for more mistakes. So if you do make mistakes in your casts, then it's okay and you can recover it. I do a lot of still fishing, so most of my flies are weighted in some manner or fashion. So that's what I use. There's a lot of like high-end fishing rods and reels like this and this. This is about a $400 reel. This is about a $500 rod. So about $1,000 in the hole in total for this setup. But you don't have to go that route. There's plenty of low-end fly fishing gear out there on Amazon by Max Catch or something of that nature that's very easy to help get you into the rods online. I bought this one for my wife. So get you into fly fishing and that kind of stuff. That's rods and reels. Fly tying is a whole nother ballpark. You don't have to get into that. You can completely just buy some fly lures to start with. But as you kind of get more into it, creating flies that you have made yourself, to catch your fish with, especially when they do catch fish, man, it is a different type of rewarding. I can't even try and explain to you. You will absolutely love it. But don't get discouraged. There's plenty of knowledge out there on it, but it can get a little confusing because people get really technical with it, and I try my best to keep it as untechnical as I can. So that way you're spending more time getting out on the water, more time learning how to fish, less time trying to worry so much about, did I buy the right line? Did I buy the right rod? Did I use the right this? Da 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 da. So, do you make any popper bugs for largemouth? I do, brother. I do. Is Colt, you out of here? All right, man. Remind me next stream. I'll make that other woolly bugger for you, my dude. So I made poppers like this one. This is a topwater popper. Very simple little guy. And then I've also made these ones, which are like dive bombers. These ones are great for largemouth or kind of even smallmouth as well. I'll make one now, brother, but I'll do it again next stream for you. And then I did last stream, or a couple streams back, I did a bunch of these like just kind of Senko worm style flies. So this is like you would normally like your normal bass lure stuff. We're using a J hook, but we tied a little bit of weight there, resin it up, and then we tied this on, create this cactus chenille body. And it actually does pop down and kind of show off the hook there. So it's a usable little fly. It looks like a Senko worm, man. Falls just like a Senko worm, dude. These are going to be working good. And then I created like even some smaller ones as well. I have a bunch of those fat boys. And then we did some kind of streamers that look like little minnow fish. Bunch of stuff. This one here was created by my buddy Traveler Flies, who also is a streamer. He makes some really awesome little clouds of minnows, that kind of stuff. But I gotta get a bigger box, y'all. That's my next goal here. I'm gonna get one of those big old meat boxes. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Thanks, Carter. Yeah, as much as you want to be in here and chat with me, brother, I will explain as much as I can, and I will try and keep it as simple as I can. I won't get too technical with it. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna create a woolly bugger similar to this one, and I'm gonna show you guys my favorite little technique for making these just have a little bit more action in the water. And I truly just troll these. I use a fly rod, and I will, if I'm in my boat and I'm just trolling like I would any other lure, I'll just throw the fly out behind me, and I will catch massive amount of fish with this particular fly. And I will show you how it is made. Dude, I didn't even get a chance to do steelhead. My steelhead rivers here have closed 2 years in a row, and it's been a big bummer for me. I was definitely wanting to do some winter steelheading, but I never got a chance to. Did some salmon, but that was about it. Have you tied any turnbuckle ties? I would have to take a look. There it is. I think you missed, Lucy. You got the wrong one there for a second, but we got it figured out. I'm planning for next year with you, brother. I truly am. So I'm coming your way for a bit, and we're gonna go do some steelheading. So when you think it's the best time of year, I'll make the run for it. So. All right, Smokey. Appreciate you hanging out, brother. Okay. So, kind of like we did last time. Really, it's pretty similar to exactly what we did last time, but there's just really just adding one piece into it. D, I'm gonna ask politely if we keep all that kind of chat off of my live stream, please. You're more than welcome to hang out with us, but I try and keep it very much about fly fishing or fishing in general on here, if you don't mind. Yeah, like very much everybody can do whatever they want to do, but in this space, it's about fishing. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. We hit the feed, that's for sure. All right, so now we're gonna go in with the chenille, just like we did last time. Spin that right back over. Cut that just in line with that marabou. Now you guys should be able to see that just now. Boom. Do the same thing on this side here. From a taxidermist? Dude, that would be awesome, dude. Hell yeah. All kinds of different furs and stuff like that. I don't know why more. I bet you there's a lot of fly guys that like try and hit up taxidermists and shit like that. I know I would if I knew one here in the area, that's for sure. That's not a bad idea, dude. I never even thought of that. Oregon. Alright. Boom. Now we got that chenille in the back tail of that thing. Now she's looking real pretty. Pull that little strand out of there. Now comes the fun part. We need the chenille. Yo, Fat Cat, what's up, dude? Fat Cashing in the house. Yeah, I don't want to give this any attention, but I will say this. You guys know more than anybody, like, I've been a lot of different places, met a lot of different people with a lot of different views, man. And everybody is allowed to their own opinion. And they're allowed in my space if they're a good person. That's exactly where I'm going to end that. Okay. Timothy, you have a good night, brother. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, dude. Hope to catch you in the next one, my friend. Really do. Tight lines, brother. Oh, the big black jig? Which one? I didn't make any jigs. I made this really awesome little fly. That's how that turned out, dude. Just kind of big ol' honker on that one. Okay. So here's the thing about this one, right? Oop. We're gonna go about 3/4 of the way up. This is the special piece I was telling you about. Okay. I'm gonna take this little rubber leg and I'm gonna tie that in just like that on my side. Take another rubber leg on the other side, just like that. Then we're gonna go off the back, hold them straight back, both of them. Come on. And we're gonna tie those in. And we get about 3/4 from the back side. Now, why would you do this, baby Bobby? Because I'm selfish. No. Didn't even catch that one. Oh, Ballsy Way's still in here. What's going on, brother? I thought you tapped out, though. I'm a catfish, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you hanging out and watching, brother. I don't have the old man with me tonight, so sorry I can't be as entertaining as normal, but I still promise I will try my best to keep it goofy as all hell in here for you. Okay. Now this gets kind of tricky because it takes a little bit more time and effort to kind of work with these legs. But I get my thread all the way back here, and we're going to add in that piece of hackle one more time. And we're trying our best not to get those legs tangled up either. Sorry guys, I can't really read at the moment. And tie this because both brain cells are in full function at the moment. Okay. Now that we've done that, now we just got to work our way with this thread through these legs back up to the front. So when I was 12, 13, I actually kind of came up with this fly. Now, it's probably done before, but I came up with this fly in my own head because my cousin and I like to troll flies a lot on the lakes. And I noticed the normal flies, they didn't have much movement to them. So I'm like, what can I do that would add movement to these things and kind of get them moving around in the water while I'm flying, while I'm fishing, or just dragging them behind and on a fly rod. So I was like, well, rubber legs got to add some kind of movement to it. And then I kind of just add very little amount of legs on these things, just like you see here. And what I came to find out is not only do the legs just kind of have their own action when they're moving in the water, but they actually push the fly. So even though we're trolling, right, in a boat, electric motor, it's just behind the boat, right? You're the fish coming up in the lure. Even though we're trolling, the lure is just sitting there in the water like this. With these legs on it, what it does is it wants to kind of push it around. So now it's doing this, right? It's kind of giving it a little bit more action than it would if it was just a regular fly where it would just kind of sit there and flutter, kind of in the same spot. I didn't know it was going to do all that. But once I saw it do all that, I immediately told Mike, my fishing buddy, that I knew exactly that's what that was going to do. and he wanted me to make 7 more, which I did gladly. Because again, I thought the outcome was pretty damn cool. But they do definitely take a little bit more effort to tie, because you got to just, there's no real good way to get around these freaking legs other than just to slowly work your way through them. Boom, just like that. Then we can kind of play with these around a little bit. Now, last piece here is we still have that saddle hackle. Do a half hitch at the front. And we're going to start wrapping that around. Like I said, you just kind of got to sit here and continuously pull those things out of your way as you're kind of wrapping this forward. It can be kind of annoying and take an annoying amount of time to get one fly done, but in the end, these little guys work really, really well for being what they are. That's just a little woolly bugger, that is. Sorry I haven't engaged with chat here recently. I see you guys down there, but just give me a second here. Like I said, these take a little bit of effort. Okay. Let's get the whip finish on there, just like this. A little whip finish tool. Okay, let me check out. Lucy's been dealing with chat. Appreciate you, Luce. Thank you, man. Okay, finishing tool. Goes on. We're just gonna, oh man, the line got all despun there. Hang on a second. Okay. Finishing tool goes on just like that. We're going to do our little final spins on here. And cut off our main line. We take our head cement and just hit that threads wraps a couple of times. All that's doing is that's just locking those in with basically, this is just super glue. And we hit the main thread for sure. Okay. Then I cut these pretty dang short, really, about right there, because we want them to stick almost straight out from this fly. And that is what I'm telling you, makes the legs kind of give some motion in the water. Even if you're like pulling this straight out or whatever, basically cut those legs off pretty damn short. But that there is that finished woolly bugger. Now you guys kind of can see, you see the legs? They're the same color as the fly. I could have done a different color, but they almost kind of stick out like little arms and legs on this thing. You got two here, and you got two more over here, and they just add just a little bit more motion to this fly when it's floating in the water. And yeah, that's just my little piece I add to this woolly bugger that makes this thing really, really productive. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. Dude, honestly, Southside, there's no muskies in my area. I'm from Washington State. It's about 12 a.m. for me right now, and 12 p.m. So I don't tie much of those, but you're the second quest tonight, so I might get into that, bro. And then maybe the next stream or two, I'll have something for you. So make sure you subscribe, my friend, and I will create something on the next live stream for you. Give me a second, bathroom break, real quick, guys. Fat cat out of here. All right, brother. Thank you so much. All right, let's try something, guys. Can we do... It's just a poll. I thought we could do like a you guys choose situation. Ray touched. Chicken nuggets are great, my friend. Oh, really? Really? Maybe we do a salmon jig? I was just thinking about, like, what do we do? Do we do salmon jigs now? I could do some salmon jigs. We haven't done one yet tonight. Are musky ones primarily tied with deer hair, you think? Other show flies, I'm small fry myself, bro. Definitely small fry. All right, well, let's make a musky jig then. So clearly this is a lot larger than the previous flies we've been making. That's because this bad boy is about 1/2 of an ounce on a 2x strong Kamagatsu hook. We're gonna tie big boys like this. Here, just for comparison, this is what we were tying just a second ago, and this is what we tied just now. Trailer hooks? Okay, I don't have any trailer hooks, but we'll do a variation of that with lots of flash on this one then. I'll show you how we kind of do it here in the Pacific Northwest. We catch salmon with these lures here. We call them twitching jigs. This is the type of fish we catch with them. Yeah. Pretty similar, I think. Maybe. But we use a lot of bright colors here. This one, I think we're going to do, we got some gold and some orange. I could just let the head be its own entity there, and we just do like a black with some heavy flash. I think that's what we'll do. But I will use probably some orange thread. That one was a community jig, actually, from last night's stream. Oddly enough. There's something I had never seen in the community before. I don't know if you were here last night, but a bunch of people, we were doing the whole game where we have like people pick numbers and that kind of thing. I think you've been here for that before. And Jav, thank you. We had people picking numbers and that kind of stuff, but K-Vision Pro was consistently not winning, and I was like, okay, we're gonna pick numbers, and then wait, no, I think you're the one that put in the money form, did you not? That's right. You're the one that put in the cash stream form. And then you're like, nobody vote, and it was awesome. Nobody did, and he got the spot. It was pretty cool. I missed out on a couple of muskie and a couple of salmon jigs. Oh no, dude, that sucks. Jav, I'm making a salmon lure. So end goal, we're gonna have something similar to this thing here, and I use them to catch big old salmon like this one. Yeah. Create a thread wrap all the way back to the back of the hook. Yeah, I know. I truly feel bad. That kid got so much hate to, by the way. He had his name K-Fish and Pro before I was K-Fish. And he just came in. He was like OG, right? Like one of my first streams I came on. And he's like, "Oh, you're K-Fish. I'm K-Fish and Pro." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, dude." And I didn't, like, it was just one of those coinky-dink things. And he, like, someone somewhere was like, "Oh, you stealing K-Fish's name?" I'm like, "Dog, he had it before me, man. Like, leave the kid alone. He's a good kid." Eventually, I want to get him some swag coming his way. I typically don't do much. I sometimes do a little bit of marabou in the tail end of these just because I think it adds to the tail piece a little bit. Especially on this kind of shorter shanked one. It's going to look real nice. And then we're going to add in that rabbit zoinker tail. Just like that. So what got me into this in the first place was I used to tie a bunch of flies and that kind of stuff. Dry flies, shit like that. I never really used that much dry flies, and so I kind of fell out of it. And then I got into salmon fishing again. And when I got into salmon fishing, I realized that these jigs were like $5-6 a piece. Well, in one fishing trip, you can go out and lose 5 or 6 of them. And at that price and at that quantity, it can get real friggin' expensive. So I was like, well, hey, I know how to tie. I can make some of these. So I got all the stuff myself, and then I got my dad to start making me some of these jig heads, because that was the other costly piece. And now I'm full-fledged on these things. They're a lot of fun to make. And FYI, everybody that's in my chat right now, Oregon Fishing Adventures, if someone could drop his link to his channel, I would love it. He actually used some of my jigs, the ones we're creating right now, and caught his personal best coho. So you guys can go check out that video if you're curious at all. Earlier this year. So super makes me feel great because I made it, and you know, made it to a really good expense. But also, you know, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. It's getting late. Go check out the video. Go check out Oregon Fishing Adventures. Go check out Showflies and Lucy too. They're all great guys in my chats here. They will link you to all different types of people in the fly fishing / fishing community that we have, if you're at all interested in this kind of stuff. Okay, so then I'm going to take this crosscut here. Damn, dude, I don't have a whole lot more crosscut. I might not actually use the crosscut right now. I might have lied. I could have just lied to you guys right now. I totally just... No, I got some crosscut. We're good. We'll use this crosscut. Thank you, Lucy. Of course I do, dude. I wish we still had legit Great Lakes muskie. Dude, I've always wanted a muskie fish. Isn't that like they call that like the fish of 1,000 casts or whatever too? Like a really hard fish to catch. Crosscut fur, by the way, we just call it crosscut, is because the fur is laying sideways off the back of the leather strip. And we want that because it just kind of creates that backward spin to the actual fur. And then it just kind of helps the whole jig lay back a little bit more than it typically would. You get a little bit more slender body, and it all just kind of looks like it should be. Okay, Okay, for this part, we want some legs. Well, I want to kind of match what's going on at the head of this thing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do some orange and some gold. We might even mix in some of that like brown just to kind of help blend everybody together here. You and me both, Oregon. You and me both, dude. I've got like all of my Thailand trip right now in the works. Dude, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different videos all being worked on at the same time right now. A bunch of like Thailand tackle that I purchased while I was over there. And I kind of go like there's a whole series I've done with that one of like finding cool little niche tackle shops in Thailand and picking up free, lures and that kind of stuff. And then there's like 2 large videos of just like my trip in general in Thailand and then again in Singapore. So, and if y'all know any of my videos, y'all know that I put like a decent amount of effort into editing and making sure that those are well-refined videos. It's just not me just slapping a bunch of, footage together. I try my best to make it like entertaining as I can. Okay, rubber legs going back on the left. Flip that over, do the same thing on the right. Oh, right on, right on. Whoop. Oh, music's still playing. It's just flipped up on me. That was weird. Okay. We're going to go back in with the black here. I try, man. I try, Lucy. Like even shorts, I tried, but I think I'm cutting back on the shorts a little bit, dog. I think I was doing it a short every single day, and it's so hard for me to like find content for every single day. So I think I'm gonna just cut back, maybe just do a couple shorts per week, and just make sure that they're, fresh shorts. They're not just me rehashing some stuff that I've been doing. I think that was kind of wearing people out. I get it. It would wear me out too. So I'm gonna try not to do that as much. Feedback is good, dude. Fun fisheries job, or you just really enjoy your free time? Yeah, dude, I literally do this as my free time. Yeah, fishing's kind of what I do is what I've always kind of done. I've tried multiple different ways of like sharing fishing content online. A lot of times it didn't really work out, but this is the first time that I've kind of decided to do it my way and not necessarily try to work the algorithms and create content that I didn't necessarily like, that I was just doing just because I felt like I needed to get views and that kind of stuff. This time around, I was very much like self-conscious about like just making shit that I want to make that's fun, and still doing in the fishing world. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, man. If you go look at my videos, they're very much all over the place. I do shit for like tackle reviews, I do tackle tips, I do catch and cooks, I do come fishing with me's, I do vlogs. It's all over the place because that's how I want it to be. I want to be to shit that I want to do, you know what I mean? I don't sell my jigs or I don't sell my lures because, again, it's very, 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 very important to me that I have the freedom to do what I want to do while I'm sitting here on stream with you guys. So if I were to sell these, you'd see me sitting here tying up the same jig 17 different fucking times. That's boring as shit. I wouldn't want to watch that. No, FYI, no shade to anybody that does that, right? Because you can sit here and talk with people and very much get the same amount of people coming through. But I don't know. That's just not what I want to do, and so that's what it is. You get a chance, check it out. I don't care if you subscribe, but was it? Oregon, have you seen my content or some? I'll check it out, Lucy. Yeah, man, that's just it. That's just it, Velo. Like, you could try and chase the algorithm, man, but you're gonna end up burning yourself out. I see it. There it is. Yeah, if you're an entertaining person, you can do that, and it would be just fine. Like I said, I'm not throwing shade. It's just I can't sit here and tie the same one. Hats off to you, by the way, show flies. I don't know how you do it, bro. I mean, I tie salmon jigs, yeah, but they're all some variation of each one, right? I get to change the colors up, shit like that. I guess that's how you kind of do it too. You change the colors up as you kind of go along. Yeah, right. Like when you get to tying something like my salmon flies, like it's the same thing, but you kind of vary it a bit, right? Like they're not all exactly the same. Okay, UV light going on. No Mercy's in here? I didn't see him. Yeah, I mean, basically my patterns are basically the same too, bro. Show flies. One of these nights, dude. Why don't you get on my Discord and message me, and I'll get you on one of the duo streams one night, bro. Yeah, right. Right, show fly. Right, Luca. Cut those legs free. There we go. interesting color, but I'm actually kind of running low on my jig head, so we're down to kind of some funky colors. But I think it'll work. Kept it black just because black's always a good color choice when it comes to salmon jigs. No frills, no mercy. You must be just waking up or something. Oregon's a metalhead. Ooh, freshwater lure. Bear down. That's a good question. Depends. What am I fishing for? Bass, trout, salmon. Yeah, what am I fishing for? And I'll tell you. Ooh, hey, no frills if you're still here. Check this bad boy out. No, not that one. That one's shit. Hold on. Where'd he go? Is this the good one? No, this is the good one. I lied. This isn't shit. Little bass fly. Little bass streamer. What do you think of that bad boy? Bass? Okay. Ooh, that is a toss-up. If I'm going with regular spin casting gear, it would be either a jerk bait or a jig on a craw. If it's a bass fly, however, it would be a variation of this little fly right here. I've caught a lot on this stupid little fly. It looks ridiculous, but it's just so productive. 80 likes. Who's going to be one more, man? Who's going to do it? Come on. One more. Let's go. You guys did it. Thank you, man. Let's just do like a goofy little... Let's just do like a goofy little jig. Just like a little goofy guy, you know what I mean? Just like a little goofy one. Why am I not at sea catching fish? I'm mostly freshwater. Mostly freshwater, my friend. Robo worms are pretty damn good too. Oh. Okay. You know what I haven't done in a minute? Let's do one of my little crappie shad darts. That I haven't done in a minute. And I'm feeling like doing something goofy like that. It's like a hardcore beat. I like it. So this is a little shad dart. But I use these actually for crappie because they're balanced well. And I think they work pretty well. What little experience I have with crappie, that is. But they work great for panfish. I caught a shit ton of panfish on these things. Spinner baits for pike and muskie. Ooh, damn. I don't know you guys use spinner baits for pike or muskie. Pike, ooh, spinner baits. Spinner baits are good. I've caught literally PBs on spinner baits, dog. That is a good thought for sure. Now, I got this little bag here full of deer hair. And what I do is I take a bunch of this deer hair. I'm going to tie that on this bad boy, and it creates just a nice little lure that the crappie and such seem to really just like to eat. So this lure, though, however, hard to tie. I will say that. What's he saying? What it furry what? So I get a good thread wrap going on these just because, like I said, they like to slip around a bit. And we're going to start with white and work our way out to red. I'm going to use some of this white deer hair. Cut some of that free. Shake out all of the little pieces. And then we're just going to tie that in just like that. Okay. What's going on? Yo, Farmer Brown, how you doing? Creating a little crappie jig at the moment, but we kind of gone all over the place when it comes to the lures tonight. Orange goes in next. Kind of keep with the vibe we got going so far. I'm going to go a little bit longer than the white. And this kind of just gets stacked and kind of pushed on top of the white. Oops. Gotta take care of the underbrush. Gotta make sure that I cut it straight too. Wrap it in, and I can kind of push it around. And then last but not least, a little bit of the red. Yo, what up, Ron? We got the white, orange to red there. And then I'm just going to do a couple whip finishes. I really don't care about how like the wraps look on these ones per because we're going to just hit it with the resin, and it's just going to kind of level everything out, make it look real pretty, real nice. Oh, shit. 84 likes on the stream, guys. We're getting real close to 90, man. If you haven't already, make sure you guys drop a like. If you're into fishing content and you like this kind of stuff, I do this every Thursday and Friday. Well, most Thursdays and Fridays, that is. At least once a week. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you want to catch more stuff like this. Fix your feed too. I get it, man. I get it. You want to go see the guy who's got the toilet seat on his head. I understand. Tell me I'm not the only one that's got that in their feed, dude. Some weirdo with a toilet seat on his head. Uh-oh, there it is. Hell yeah, man. Hendrix? Who's Hendrix? What happened there? The resin's taking forever to dry. There we go. Like I said, goofy little lure. And it kind of works well, man. Like I said, it stays nice and balanced. These kind of flutter out. Crappie seem to love to come after this thing. If you just throw it out. I don't know what that is, but thank God I don't have that. No, toilet seat dude freaks me out. Like I said, I want to create content that I like to create. I ain't gonna sit here, put a toilet seat on my head, and start talking all kinds of crazy nonsense. That's crazy. Ah, thank you, brother. Yeah, dude. Kind of came up with that a little while back. It kind of just adds to, it's just not some random dude sitting in his room tying flies. It kind of gives you some visual effect too. I gotta keep these kids, entertained. That's what it is, dude. Too many of these little kids got ADD. They can't stay on my stream for very long. But if I give them blinky lights, you know what I mean? That's why Lucifer is still here. Okay. I think we give it one more fly. What do I want to do, though? Let's just let it take us. What do you think? We're just gonna vibe with it. We'll see where we go. I found the red eyeballs a second ago. Did I lose them again already, though? I think I might have. Oh, no, here they are. I know, that's pretty sweet, man. The fact we made main feed, that's pretty awesome. We're going to do like an orange one. An orange, similar to what we were doing earlier. Kind of roll it right back into where we started tonight. Okay, we're going to start with the thread here. Get that started on there, cut that free. At this time of night, my area, you're probably the most normal live going. Honestly, bro, I don't check that often. If I can hold, honestly, if I can hold 10 people consistently in a live, that's a good live for me. Tonight's pretty good. We're holding 19. We're at 87 likes, which is way higher than most of my streams. I think my highest likes on a stream is like 115. Or 120, something like that. That was a really good stream. But I used to do, like, this is how I started, bro. Like, I did the nighttime thing because a bunch of people were doing, like, during the day, and I was like, well, why don't I do some late night streams, catch people on the other side of the pond? And, yeah, this is how I started, so I'm kind of in a way getting back to the roots of what I started doing on here on live on YouTube and that kind of stuff. Looks like Run's live right now too. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know what I did differently to hit the algorithm tonight, but it seemed to work. Okay, so we did that. I have this orange kind of flashy boo cactus chenille. We're gonna throw that in here, along with some of the actual flashy boo. I'm gonna do that first. This thing is just gonna be all kinds of blammo in your face, colorful. Sorry guys, I'm trying to pull out some chenille here. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Locked Up? Making a little bass fly at the moment, brother. Forgive me for a second while I'm just kind of cutting up some the hell? No. Flashaboo. That's what this is called. Sorry, dude. It's about 1 a.m. for me. I've been streaming for quite some time now, so I'm starting to lose focus a bit. But welcome in. Glad to have you, dude. If you're into fishing content of any kind, that's what I create. I'm glad to have you here in the stream, but I'd love to have you as a subscriber if you're into fishing stuff. I do these streams every Thursdays and Fridays. Well, I try to do every Thursdays and Fridays. Usually it's me. Sometimes it's me and my old man, who usually sit here and yell at each other. It's good fun. Otherwise, I have a lot of guests on too from the fishing community as well, so they come and join me. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Okay, so we tied that in. One little freaking strand there. Do a half hitch right there. That's just saving my spot so I don't lose where I'm at. And we're going to start wrapping around with this. I'm going to make sure to preen this back as I go, so we're not tucking any underneath. and we're gonna stop at about halfway there. Hold on, I will read your comment in just 1 second. Let me finish what I got going here. Okay. Any thoughts on a bobbin to use with a 0.55 wire? I use for certain attachments on shark hooks. The bobbin would be useful, but need to be very, very heavy duty. Obviously, 20 to 50 pound wire is what I use on a bobbin. LB. I don't think that's right. But you need one that's adjustable. Guy by the name of Ties Flies, he makes an adjustable bobkin. It's got like a little adjuster here that you can kind of dilate where it needs to sit. Mine are very old school. Yeah, they're not really adjustable other than like you can just adjust how much the spring is kind of bent out. But that one actually has like a twistable, adjustable thing on it that I think will work better for your case. So I would say definitely go give that one a check out if you're interested at all. Okay, next piece is I'm going to take some of this leftover crosscut, which is deer fur or is rabbit fur, and I'm going to take these little clips here, and we're going to do what's called a dubbing noodle. We're going to create a dubbing noodle here. Ooh, actually, before I get too far ahead, we need to add in our barbell. Okay, barbell's in. We've kind of put this one pretty much all the way up to the hook eye because, again, I think we were kind of. I don't like putting much in front of this. I don't think it's worked out for me. So, but now we're gonna put in that loop, which we've kind of already done, and I'm gonna get the fur all put in the clip here. And we'll create that dubbing noodle. Just like that. That's going to hold that fur in there just in line like that. So I can get it on the dubbing noodle. And we're going to use this goofy looking tool here with the loop we've created in our line. And we're going to hold it like such. And what it's going to do is once I put the fur in here and I pull this back, it's going to tighten it. And then I can start to spin it. You'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. I kind of got to do it back here just so I make sure it does it right. But you guys will see kind of what I'm doing. So take this, put it in between those two threads, pull it tight, and then release. There you go. Now it's just kind of pinched in there. You see that? And now I can kind of bring it back here and start to spinning. Ooh, not like that though. Got to spin it a little too fast there. There we go. And that is going to be creating what we call a dubbing noodle. We're going to have to do this a couple more times, but there you guys get the general idea of what's going down there. So we've taken that fur, now we've created basically a circular noodle of line. So we'll take this clip, hold that. We don't need all this. Cut that free. And then we're just going to kind of carefully, I'm going to do a half hitch here. Whoop, don't go on spinning there. so when I spin, this isn't going to go all over the place. You think you told me on last stream, bro? You're getting like a high-end one, aren't you? And when I'm doing this, I'm also just kind of preening all that stuff back because it'd be pointless to do all this and then just kind of cover it all up at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I'm preening it back while wrapping forward. Come on. And cut that free. And we're actually going to fold this back quite a ways. And we're going to wrap over top because we're going to add in some more rubber legs. But I want that beneath because that's creating layering back there. See that? Right on. Hey, Locked Up, make sure you comment on one of my shorts, dude. I'll go give you a follow, my friend. I want to check out some of your stuff. I can't follow from a comment, you know what I mean? Or from a live stream, because as soon as it ends, the chat goes away. Barbie Sepco. All right, so I'm gonna do red, and we're gonna do a bleeder, which is just white with red dots. I'm gonna add that on either side of this bad boy, right behind the head there. Just like that. Now we've got that in. Now we're just going with our last bit of fur to cover all that up. Okay. Cutting the thread off, or the leather off. Now we got another chip clip filled with fur, so that means we got to create another doubling noodle here. I want to go right on top of those rubber legs as much as we can. Jigging for kings, heck yeah, Veldo. Black Widow SRT. Ooh! Hell yeah, dude. That's an awesome setup, Oregon. You get very technical with your rods, bro. I love it. 3 pound stainless wire, yeah. Elbow issues, typing on keyboard enough. Cause pain. Oof. Sorry to hear that, bro. Okay. Let me get our clip back out. Y'all, 93. If we can get this to 100 before I can get done tonight, man, that would be absolutely stellar. Hey, thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you coming back. Oops. Okay. I think I want to do some fancy resin work on this one. I haven't done that in a minute, and I think it would benefit from it. I think it would look real nice. So that's what we're going to do. If you guys will bear with me, that's what we'll do. Show flies, you out of here? Have a good night, dude. Appreciate you joining me as long as you did, my friend. Like I said, hit me up on that Discord, dude. I'd like to do a duo stream with you one of these nights. Oh, damn. Loctite, that's pretty dope. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna do our best to kind of preen these back. That way it makes this next step a little bit easier. Oh, I don't like where that wire's coming from. Was that a fur? Okay. If I'm gonna do this, I really gotta get rid of all the stragglers. Okay. Head cement going on. First step is I'm just going to do just a little bit here. And then let that dry before we kind of build off of it. Yeah, colors are sweet. Wait till you see this under full black light, which I'll do here in a minute. Come on. If I spin it fast, it really levels out the resin on top of that headpiece. And then I'm going to hit it with a light really quickly, and everything just kind of lines up like it should. Okay. And cut these legs free. That there is one hell of a little bass streamer. Now you can kind of see the head in action there. How that all turned out. In the water, when this thing gets all smoothed out, that's kind of the profile it's going to have to it, right? It's going to be a good little jig, man. But I will say, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the last one for tonight. So I say for the last time, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed. And I very much appreciate you joining me tonight. I will catch you guys probably next Thursday or next Friday on the next live stream. And I enjoyed talking with most of you guys, especially locked up. Thank you for joining me tonight. Velto, you were awesome. Thank you for joining me. And you guys are awesome. Lucy, you're a trooper for hanging out with me as long as you did. You've redeemed yourself, my friend. But anyway, have a good night, guys. And I will catch you all in the next one. Later.